Okay, so you can see, so this is how we can print the array. We can use a map function. So here what here you can be you can mention any data. So this is actually a function. Okay, this is actually a function. So for example, if you want to return whatever the data is there in this particular array, I just need to multiply with the some other data. For example, let us see, I'm just going to create a function data multiply with 10 data, or else value, return value into 10. So what this function will do, this function will multiply whatever the data that we are passing, and it will return the data. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass this thing here. Okay, here what we need to do, we just need to pass the data. So I'm just going to pass this function d. Okay, so you can see here data has been multiplied with 10, right? So here the d means it will loop the data one after another till maximum whatever it is there. So whichever you want you can use. I will recommend use the map function instead of using the loops. Okay, in loops you have to write a lot of code, right? So if you just want to get the data, you can just use the map function to get the data from the arrays. So a reducer and filter, I don't think it is required for you now. So if you want you can refer, but I'm not going to tease those two topics now. Okay, but the map function is very important. In real time we'll use more. Okay, and about the objects I will tell you now. So objects, so object in the sense, so it's actually before understanding the object you need to understand what is a class. Okay, class is nothing but a you can consider it as a blueprint which will have the data, different type of data and different type of functions in it. So what we will use with the help of the blueprint, we will create different buildings, right? For example, if you have designed some sort of building design, so the same design you are going to use for multiple times. That means you can, what you can do, you can use the particular design and you can construct multiple buildings, right? So that is what the object means. Object means here the object is building. Okay, here the class is blueprint. So in coming to the technical this thing, so here also internally there will be some classes. We are going to just create the objects for that one, some sort of blueprints for some sort of object from that particular blueprint. Okay, so object might be anything. Let uh, object 1 equals to, okay, I'm just going to mention here in the inside the object there should be a data. First there should be a key and then data. Okay, I'm just going to comment it. So you have to mention the key. So what will be the key? These are the JSON objects, JavaScript notation objects. That is what we will call as JSON object. Okay, JavaScript notation object. Okay, so JavaScript notation object, how we can use this means, so JavaScript notation objects will have the key and data. So how it will represent inside the open and close flower brackets. Okay, so for example here I am going to create name, anything, name, or else name, education. Okay, and you can mention age, and what else you can mention, something, phone number. This is not my name, some random number. Okay, and you can mention email. Okay, so here I have created one object. Let's print this console.log. In place of this object name, I will give employee details. Okay, so what I will do, I will just print the employee details. So here what I did, I just printed the employee details. Mm, so it will be better. So, so you can see when I print inside the string will not recognize this, right? Because you cannot add object with the string. So that is why it is showing object. You can see employee details, it can. Okay, now you can use this object and you can change the names and all. For example, if I want to change the name, okay, so now employee details dot name equals to uh, let us consider someone name. uh, okay, someone's name, and employee details dot education equals to, I'm just going to make BSc. I don't know what it is, whether BSc or whatever it is, just for this employee details dot age equals to employee details dot year equals to employee details dot let it be email. If you want, you can change this. Okay, so now you can print the console.log after changing the data. Console.log. Okay, now I am going to print this. Okay, now you can see everything was changed, right? So instead of creating different variables and all, you can just create only one variable, one object name, and you can mention all the keys whatever you want. Got it? Clear, guys? Character it. Character it. Yeah, character it. Also stop discussing after character it. I started about the map function. Okay, this is normal printing the. Okay, let me repeat it again. So data, I have mentioned some array data. So if you want to print the data from the array, what you will do, you have to loop that array, right? You have to use the loop to print the data. So for that, we will be having a map function where you can print the data. Okay, so here let's see the, here I'm not going to print. console.log print data and multi multiply. Okay, so here what we have did, this is the normal way where we can print the data with the help of the map function. Okay, here in place of d you can pass any data, any value, you can mention any variable name, and here you have to mention what it is going to return. Okay, so here what I have did here, the same data I'm going to call a function data multiply with 10. So what this function is going to do, whatever the value that this particular function is receiving, it will multiply with that into 10, and it will return the data. Got it? So this is how we can use the map function, and this is about the object. This is about the object. So this is the JSON object. So object in the sense there will be the combination of any other things as well. For example, object, let me create an object like here the string is also an object. Okay, string is also an object. So let us see some other object. Let obj1 equals to 34. Okay, so now you can see here the array is containing string and also the values. Now this is an object. Okay, this array is array object. This object is this object we'll call it as an array object. Okay, it will be having the combination of any data. It might have all the strings, it might have all the only numbers, only integer numbers, float numbers, anything. So everything here it is an object. So this is also an object, and here whatever the array we have created, this is also, we will call it in JavaScript, we will call it as an object. Okay, so here we have created an variable and we have assigned some string data, so that is also an object. Okay, so console.log okay, so this is how we can use, guys. I think this is more than enough for you. So tomorrow you will be having a test on the complete these modules. This is more than enough to learn the JavaScript. So day after tomorrow we'll start how to integrate the JavaScript with the HTML, and we'll do some sort of UI development and all, and we'll try to control some button on clicks and all. So now you know how to create the function, right? I'll just give you a small this thing hint how can we use. Okay, here you can see we know how to create the function now, right? So you can see here we have created a lot of functions, right? For example, you can consider this function a function name itself, fun name something is there. So actually how we will use, if user click on particular button, we will call one function, we will pass the data to the particular function. For example, you can consider the login page. For example, I am going to here, I'm just opening some sort of website, and here I'm just going to log in. Okay, so now here you can see this, there is some login page is there and sign up page is there. Okay, when I click on this particular button, what it will do, it's showing some sort of message, right? Something is incorrect or something. Okay, so it is doing, it is checking whether it is proper or not, and then it will redirect to some other page when I click on this button, right? So what we need to do in the same way, on click there is a function for the buttons on click. So if you click on that, you have to mention the function name, what function should be executed on pressing of the button. Okay, that and all it will be very interesting. So we will see in the day after tomorrow's session a lot of things. Not only this, there are a lot of other things are there. Like, so that these are also the concepts in the JavaScript itself. But this I have considered it as a separate type of module. So where we are going to learn about the uh, DOM and BOM. DOM is document object model. Browser object model. Okay, DOM and BOM. These are the HTML manipulations in the JavaScript. How we can create the objects, how we can handle the HTML data in JavaScript. How can we access the HTML data in JavaScript? How can we control it? How can we modify it? All those things we will see. Clear, guys? Any doubts or anything else? If you have, please let me know, or else we'll wind up today's class and then we'll proceed further. Yes, JavaScript is also there in the test.